I'm Catherine Ross, and I'm here live from the NYSE with Jim Cramer. Jim, it's another big day for earnings. Let's start with CVS Health. I'm wondering, is this the stock that investors should invest in?
Okay, so here's the way you have to look at this stock. There are a lot of people who got in between 52 and 54 on the give up. They were brave souls, all right? They bought it for the last 6 weeks, and they're your enemy. They're your enemy. They got to get out because they're catalyst driven, and this is the way it works. This is my hedge fund hat. Let them last it out. Get it to 55, 54, and then you start buying because it's got a good yield, and you've got, remember, you've got Senator Sanders going to be shooting against you, and you also have Amazon shooting against you. So I want you to get it at a price that's equivalent of 8 times earnings. And at 8 times earnings with that yield, you can hold it through the whole election if you want to. But that's what you have to wait. Don't be eager. They are heat-seeking missile sellers, is what I call them, and they will hurt you. So let them take it in and then buy.
Jim, following CVS's earnings, I think that this is a great time for an investing education question, and that is, what are 3 signs that a company will beat earnings estimates?
Okay, well, you need, if they have the history of beating, then they can do it. That's like a Honeywell situation. A secular growth. Secular growth is when you've got a kind of story where that means there's cyclical growth, which is that it be up and down, like Dow Chemical, which reports tomorrow, and then there's secular growth, and then you just kind of. When I look at the ones that continue to beat, I want to see, there's a couple of things, not just 3. I want to see that they have a history of under-promising. And the reason I mention that is because yesterday I had Zebra Technologies on Mad Money, and he's been under-promising so that he can over-deliver. Okay, and then when you have an Apple situation, I look at because they clearly beat, they are a company that has figured out how to buy back enough stock that they'll beat no matter what.
Now,
they bought back so much. Do you know they bought back $12 billion worth of stock at 167? So they assured you that they were going to beat it just with that buy. Think about it.
I want to tell investors and anyone watching this that CVS is our real money stock of the day. Now you can go to realmoney.com. Kevin Kern, our Real Money reporter, will be covering wall to wall what you need to know about CVS.
Yeah,
now,
and again, I mean, I'm trying to look. You always try to up your game in these videos. You've got to understand that I like CVS, so there'll be people watching and say, "Well, God, he doesn't like CVS." It's the opposite. I want you to get in with a good basis and not be too eager. On Monday I said Spotify reported a good number and was up 5, and I was asked by Carl, do you buy it? I said, absolutely not. Let it come in. Let CVS come in. It's not a crime.
All right, Jim, let's switch gears because I think we got to talk about Apple. Now, they reported earnings last night, and we know that you're all over it.
Well, now, Apple, someone said, listen, Jim, I listened to your video, and I sold. I said, well, you idiot. You idiot. What I was saying is that let it come in, and then it did. It was down 3.5. And don't pay up. And aside from the idiots who periodically tune in, I've been consistent since $5, which is you own it, you don't trade it. And if you don't think that's the case, I'm not going to help you. I don't want to help you. Actually, shut up and get off my feed. There you go.
I gotta ask, Wall Street has been fixated on the perceived lack of innovation. So, Jim, your Real Money column says that the future of Apple may be its services.
Yeah, there's the great Teen Zhao, which is Zora, which is a product that we use at the street, lays out in the subscription economy book a really brilliant analysis of where the world's going, which is that you basically want, if you're a company, a subscription business. Now, I was talking with Tim Cook yesterday, and it's very funny because I say, Tim, here's how I want you to present the stuff. I do that. I told him for years, I said, break out the servers, break out the servers, break out the servers. Oh, Jim, we're going to do it for you, because they're just so nice. Tim Cook is brilliant. And not only this is like the greatest innovation in the world. I just use this far more than I use my phone. I can use it on the set too. It doesn't go off like that. Your pods. I think that people look down the street. Everyone's got this white thing from their ear. Why are these things not meaningful? But even if you don't, they're going to have 500 million subscription products. What is the lifetime value of those subscriptions? And the answer is far more than what the current stock's worth. Remember when they stopped counting the headsets? And people say, oh, well, that's because they are afraid and they don't want to show you the decline. No, it was because it didn't represent the company going forward. And that was precisely what happened. Luca Maestri is so good, the CFO, very underrated.
Now, you just mentioned you mentioned something that I want to hit on real quick. So you mentioned the watch, you mentioned the AirPods. No,
Yes.
those are both very innovative devices,
Yes.
but Wall Street did not find them as innovative as the iPhone. So what is Apple's next
do?
move?
I mean, what is innovative about Facebook selling you out to make more money? What is innovative about Google, which stopped innovating when they changed the name to Alphabet? Waymo, I haven't seen that at all. What is innovating about Netflix? Okay, good content. What is innovating about anything? I mean, there was a great Twitter follower who said, "Listen, you've got a Steve Young situation where you have Montana and then Young, and they're both HOFers, and Steve Young would have been the best quarterback of his time, except for he followed Montana, who's not a nice man, by the way, and his son was played for Tulane."
But Jim, what's Apple's next iPhone moment?
You don't need one. I don't even want one. That's hardware. You just keep fixing the software. The software is what matters. There's a big developer conference in 5 weeks. This creates millions of jobs. Oh, by the way, Apple's created many more jobs than the government, many more jobs than almost any other company, but they don't get credit for that either. And yes, I am on the warpath. I am on a rampage warpath here against people who are on a permanent intellectual vacation, who say, listen, the best days are behind them and Tim Cook doesn't invent. They're charlatans. They're mountebanks. They're knaves. They're frauds.
Now, Jim, we kicked off the video with CVS earnings. We just talked about
I'm
Apple
worried about
earnings.
how much is that down now? Is that they hit it yet? Only so many stocks can be fintech.
But we got to talk about the other earnings too.
What?
So there are 3 earnings that I'm going to ask you, and I want your opinion on them in 60 seconds or less. Ready? Let's start with Apache.
Too much gas.
Okay, Qualcomm.
Ran too much.
XPO Logistics.
Probably decent quarter, but not good enough because Amazon's going to say that they want the last quarter mile. You know, they want the last 110 yards.
That was less than 30 seconds. Way to go, Jim. All right,
No problem.
all right, Jim. That's all we have time for
J&J
today.
through 140.
Why is J&J through 140?
I think that people recognize. By the way, there's a very tough opioid trial coming up.
Yes, there is. I'm glad that you mentioned that.
People should worry. All right, we love J&J. It's owned by Action Alerts, but watch this opioid trial. It's going to drive the stock back down. So wait if you haven't bought it yet.
All right.
It's a trial I'm following pretty closely, and I'm worried.
We'll have to talk about that later on.
What happened with talc? And the Planospar drove the stock down to 127. Planospar is often tries to get the narrative to be their own.
And Johnson & Johnson is an Action Alerts Plus name, so I'm
Long
sure
time,
that
and
we
I
will
love
be
Alex
covering
Gorski's done a great
it
job.
wall to wall there.
CVS stock of the day. Go and find out everything you need. By the way, Johnson's doing incredible stuff on Apple. You know,
He had an incredible live vlog last night.
Yeah, I do not talk enough about the talent, the roster we have assembled. I've been here for 24 years, and the roster is the best since the open.
All right, Jim, so that's all we got time for today. For all of you watching on TheStreet.com or on Facebook, we are now jumping over to our Action Alerts Plus members-only club video on ActionAlertsPlus.com. Thank you. There we will be talking more on CVS Health and Apple. So thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.